Hi everyone, we have two beautiful ladies out here and they're going to share their wisdom on how they have been able to sell their courses and masterminds to the world. So very warm welcome to you, Dawn and Linda.
Thank you.
Thank
Hi
you.
everybody. Hi Purvi. Hi
Hi.
Dawn.
Thank you
Hi,
so
how are you?
much for really coming. My first question to you, Dawn, is you're a money coach. So definitely you resonate with the mindset of money and sales is a process where the money comes in. Tell me how exactly women in business and online course creation can really create that relationship with money so that the sales is an easy activity for them rather than a really struggling and challenging task.
So when you create your course and you know who your ideal client is, right? So you're creating it with one person in mind. So there's somebody that you're creating for. So I create for people who need to know their numbers. So my clients are people who have certain traits and things that make them a good fit. When you know that, then when you're going out there and you're actually selling your course, you're looking for the people who are just a really good fit for what it is that you're going to teach them. And you do that with the right price point in mind. It actually is very, I guess, seamless because you're doing a lot of service and you're adding a lot of value, but you're doing that with only one person in mind as you are doing your sales. And, you know, not that you would turn anybody else away, but if you do this with the idea of one person, one price point for each course and thing that you create, I think sales becomes much easier because then you have an audience and you're not, I guess, tiring your audience, right? You're looking for different people to be a good match for each thing.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for that. Linda, tell me how exactly the sales process could be more simplified in the minds of women course creators because a lot of time with so much on the internet world about selling upsells, downsells, and this sell and that sell, it does become more of a complicated system. How can women really simplify their systems for sales?
So exactly like what Dawn said, but I like to add a bit on top of that. So when you speak to your client, you know that one person you want to help. And so then therefore you park away all the complications, all the shiny objects that people worry about, do you need this? Do you need that? But really just communicate and connect with that person so that you make sure your sales process, your copywriting has an element of connection. So I'm an author of Connection, The Currency to Happiness is my book. It's #1 bestseller and it's been helping so many people around the world. So whatever you write in your copywriting, in your offer sheet, make sure that there's a human element to it. Not all about figures, not about sales. And don't just focus on the problem only, but focus on the person. So I'm a self-leadership coach. So I'm all about you. So my clients is from 5 years old through to beyond 70. And that's because we are all human, right? So don't forget that crucial factor. Make it so simple, but speak to that person and to their heart and soul. That would be the most crucial element in any sales that you do, whether in person, online, in your copywriting, all of it. That will be the golden nugget that I would say.
Thank you, Dawn. Dawn, the next question for you. We all learn from our sales mistakes. Tell me one mistake that you think was repeated by accident multiple times, but when you've corrected that sales mistake, things became really easy.
So one of my biggest sales mistakes when I was in the middle of a pivot was being too broad, talking to too many people. And in return, I wasn't selling. I was doing a lot of teaching. I was reaching out to a lot of people, but I actually wasn't doing a whole lot of selling. My message was too broad. I was talking to too many people, and I hadn't really honed down to the symptom, I think, that people needed to have in order to be a good fit for what I was selling. And when you don't have that kind of connection, to Linda's point, about what somebody needs and what they need to have in order to be a good fit, we don't sell. We do make a big mistake that way. Once I narrowed down a little bit more, I did a little bit more work on who really I was talking to and then why it was such a good fit and how they were going to be helped. Then the sales started coming and I was able to fill the program. At that point, it was actually a program that I was working with. And it was very frustrating. I want to say I spent a good 6 weeks talking to everybody about it, but not to anyone specifically about why they should be part of it.
Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Linda, tell me, what has been your journey with some failures, which when were really recovered from, you started to see more sales?
Wow. As entrepreneurs, we all have so many, right? I think for me, it would be similar to Dawn, that it's too broad, because with my book, um, now the book hasn't made any error as such, but I'm using a book as a starting point. So when I wrote the book, happiness is for everybody, right? So I was told, oh, you need to niche it. You need to make sure that it's only for a target audience. And I'm like, no, no, no. Everybody needs happiness, every country, every ethnic group. So the book did well. And my youngest reader is 12 years old through to beyond 70. So I did well with that, right? But then when it comes to coaching, again, I'm a self-leadership coach. And I do have clients from 5 through to beyond 70. But now we are coming to a special project that I'm working with CEOs and leaders. So that is completely different. And that's when I had to go through the process, redefine it. Like, okay, CEOs, they are leaders too. But then coaches, they are leaders too. Parents, they are leaders too. And so that was my biggest hurdle, is that niche within niche within niche. I have to keep redefining until I get my message. So speaking to that one person that we are talking about. And sometimes it really takes time and patience. And it really takes about studying your vision and mission so detailedly. So the board vision was that I want to help to drive employment. And that's a beautiful vision, right? Because of the COVID, because every company, all sorts of employment's been hit. So I have the vision that we want to drive employment. And that means I would help the CEOs, because if I could help the CEOs, they can then continue to run their company, then they can continue to provide employment for the staff. But that isn't the same kind of leader as coaches, because coaches are mostly solopreneurs. And then that isn't the same leaders as parents, because parents now, we have all the kids studying at home, learning from home, juggling with business and works. So you have to kind of like niche until what you term leaders are. So that is my biggest one that I hope that I adds value in sharing that.
Thank you so much. The next question to you, Dawn, is all about pricing. As coaches, consultants, course creators, there's often that dilemma of how do I really price? And with your area of expertise as money coach, you're talking about numbers. How do you think a pricing strategy can be made in a way which appeals to the course creator as well as to the audience?
So pricing is one of the biggest areas that I see people making mistakes in. And as an entrepreneur who is very profit driven, in other words, I don't want you breaking even. I don't want you being hungry. I want you to pay yourself well. I want you to pay your staff well. I want you to be able to make donations. I want you to make profit. Profit's huge for me. A lot of times we look at it this way. We say, well, like for tiny offers, everyone does about $27 to $47. And that's meant to be a tripwire. That is not actually meant to be a profitable product as much as it's meant to get people on your list and get them nurturing through emails and things like that. So there are some pricing models that we make because the product itself is designed to do something. But if you're going to price for profit, I need you to do 3 things for me. Number 1, I want you to know what your operating costs are per hour. I want you to know what it costs you every hour of the day to keep the doors open. And very simple formulas you can do, it could be anywhere from $10 an hour to maybe $22 an hour, whatever it is that it costs you to stay open. Then because I want you to consider that. I want you to consider that in your pricing. I also want you to consider what your time is that you need to recover, either from an investment in making the course or something like that. And that's hard for people to wrap their heads around because they're like, well, it's all this upfront work and then, everything after that is just profit. Well, you still need to recover your time back, however much time that you put in there. So I want you to take a little bit and give yourself a dollar value that you'd like to recover from each course for your time. And then the third thing is add a profit margin. Just add one. Give me 10%, give me 20%, give me 25%. Add a profit margin. When you do those three things and you come up with a good price that way, something happens. You recover all of your operating expenses. You are actually recovering the money in your time that you've invested, and you're actually paying yourself. And then the third thing is your business is making profit. Every time you make a sale, therefore, your business is making a profit on that product. And when you discount that product, you have a flash sale, Black Friday, whatever it is, you can still do that in a way that you will be profitable to your company, because I don't want you making courses and doing these things and not turning profit. I see pricing as just a huge place people underestimate what they should be charging, even for courses.
Thank you for sharing that, Dawn. Linda, the next question to you is all about having that different price point for your clients. So as you said that you have individual solopreneurs as leaders and you have coaches or probably entrepreneurs who are bigger company owners. How do you really distinguish between two different offers in your pool of offers for two different niche?
So for each offer that you are designing, no doubt we have to have our, excuse me, our client in mind. Excuse me. With that client in mind, you need to know what you're helping them with. It is great, like exactly like Dawn said, you need to know your cost, but I'm going to take you to a higher level. You need to know what you're offering. We all need to cover our costs, but I'm very, very focused in my clients that what is it that I'm helping them? After I give them this service, where am I going to take them? What results are they going to get from this? And so then therefore you go from there and never price it from your own pocket. Say for example, if you're a millionaire, of course you want $1 million sales, but what is it that your client getting? On the opposite side, if you haven't got the million yet, right, you might be too shy to even just ask for $5,000, but don't price it from your own pocket. But really look at your offer and not just your offer. Look at your results. Your results is what going to determine the price. Say for example, I might know one little tip. In all of my coaching is very simple. Simplicity is my expertise. One little tip, I could propel that client to the whole next new level. How much are you going to pay? That one little tip can propel them 10 levels ahead. So you look at your so-called transformational tip. How far can you take your client? Sometimes I take them maybe only one time, depends on their level, depends on how ready they are, how much they can want to take risks, how ready they are to jump. You know, they might have all this knowledge, all these skills that they not have access or exercise it yet. But if I could help them activate it, they might jump 3 times higher. So never just look at your face value, but look at your power of transformational power. So look at how far you can take them and never ever price it from your own pocket. Remember, you might be a millionaire, but your client might not be yet, right? So always look at what you're offering in order to price it is what I would say.
Awesome. Thank you so much. This was such an incredible discussion. Thank you so much, Dawn and Linda, for all the wisdom and all the stories that you shared so that women can actually propel their business growth further and really sell well and serve well. So thank you so much for being a part of the summit.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Thank you.